Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins.
Welcome, everybody. Once again, we're back, and I would say better than ever, but I don't know that we could get any better. I'm RJ Botla.
This is Tiger.
And this is the Kickass Readers Podcast, episode 9 with Christian Bentulan. Did I get it right?
Hello. Yeah, you pronounce it right.
Awesome.
He's being too nice. Too nice. I'm pretty sure you butchered it.
I probably did. And this is a super cool episode for us. Christian is a cover designer. I'm going to let him tell you more about that, but this is a first for us. He's the first cover designer, and he's our first international guest. So, woohoo, super excited about that. So, since we've introduced him and I've leaked a little bit, Christian, I'll turn it over to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, I'm Christian Bentulan from Philippines. I'm a cover designer, and I started my career 3 years back, and then here now, I'm doing a lot of coverage for a lot of authors, and actually loving it. It takes a lot of my time, but art is my life, so it's okay.
That awesome. And so we've got in our audience, we've got a lot of readers and a lot of cover designers too. So anything you say, this is like gold to them. They're super excited, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I think all of us, we're always looking for artists to work with, whether it's a big project or a small one. So there's probably a lot of people that are going to be checking out this podcast that are going to be writing your name down and checking out your website and your Facebook page pretty soon. So you're welcome.
Thank you in advance.
Awesome. So we'll get into some sci-fi and fantasy news. Tiger, do you want to start with something you found?
Yeah, sure. So not the most exciting news in the world, but I did notice that here in the month of September, we're supposed to be having 2 movies coming out that are actually remakes. And I've talked about remakes before and how boring Hollywood is. But this month we have a remake of The Predator. And that's the original Predator, it looks like. And then there's also going to be one of the 489th remakes of Robin Hood. And I was kind of curious if the listeners here, do these remakes interest you? Yay, nay. The issue I have with these are not only the lack of originality, because we keep doing the remakes and there's so much fresh new content out there that nobody is getting to see because we're just doing all these remakes. But the other thing is, I noticed that with these remakes, why does everything have to become like grim dark? Like, it's a new grittier, darker version of Predator, and it's a new grittier, darker version of Robin Hood. Like, I write dark stuff too sometimes, but like, why do we have to remake everything and make it like grim dark? Like, what's up with that?
I think it started with Batman. Honestly, The Dark Knight, in my opinion, it was such a huge hit that it just caught everybody by surprise, and now they're going to that. I mean, if anybody's read my books, I'm more of a
Noble Bright.
Noble Bright, yeah. I don't know words; they elude me. That's more my style. But I like reading some of the darker stuff. Like yours is great, and some of like our other authors that we know, like Andy Palaquin and JT. I mean, it's all good stuff. But I don't know why it is in Hollywood. And to me, it seems like it all comes back to Batman. I mean, everything's Batman. I mean, if you can
everything is Batman.
Be Batman.
You know, I gotta confess here, and I'll leave it here. But I gotta confess the fact that I finally watched what is it, Dark Knight Rises, whichever one had the Joker in it. I finally just watched that for the first time this week.
That one,
and you're right, it was so dark. My wife was like, "Yeah, I'm not really down with this," and so I'm a little behind the times on that one.
Yeah, that one was good though. That one was good.
Yeah,
that one was good. Sweet. So we got a couple of comments from the guildies, and I just moved away from it. So J.E. Perazzi says, coming over from Twitter, she's not too interested in the remakes. She's more of a cyberpunk biopunk author, so mostly excited for Upgrade and Kin. I actually don't know if those movies that I'm interested in that. A lot of people, hey, there's Tiger commenting on the comments. Nice, good job.
Yeah, I'm
not
probably
the-
going to stop there because I can't handle multitasking.
Yeah, dude. So Christian, at well, at least one point in the show, I will get distracted and totally lose what I was saying because I'm looking at the chat box.
Yeah, that's okay.
And y'all don't. Christian is English is his second language, but he talks better than I do. So y'all don't worry about that.
That's not true.
Tiger, do you have anything else?
No, just the movies. What you got, bud?
So I got two things. It's not fantasy sci-fi, but one, this is not my normal podcasting location. I'm actually traveling. I'm in Cody, Wyoming, and it is a beautiful part of the country. If you've never been there, highly recommend it. But my new sci-fi fantasy news I saw on Facebook, edible water pods. So they look like if you put water in a bubble and basically just made it to where it wouldn't leak. That's what they look like. And they're actually made of some kind of plant. I think it's seaweed.
Okay.
And you can either just eat the whole thing, you can just pop it in your mouth and bust it and eat the whole thing, or you can like bite it and drink the water out of it. But they say it's going to reduce, if it works like they say it would, it'll reduce the amount of plastic bottles that we need by some kind of ridiculous amount. If people will accept it. The other thing you could do with it is put it in like disposable soap, or not disposable, but single-use soap or single-use shampoo. Any kind of liquid can be formed into just like a bubble. It was the craziest thing. I saw it, I was like, what? So
how do you transport these things? Like you were saying earlier, you went hiking. You're going to go hiking, and you're going to take a bunch of pods with you. They're going to be all over your backpack, exploded.
I don't know. I mean, obviously they would puncture at some point if you poked them with something, but you could have to have them in some kind of baggie or some kind of containment. I don't know. I don't know that they've worked all those kinks out.
Okay.
But that's my news of the week.
Okay.
Cool. So now we're going to move on to weapon of the week. And this one I thought was cool. Christian, put down your weapon as, now how do you say that?
I think I mentioned Cintiq, right?
Yes.
So tell the folks what this is. This isn't your traditional weapon.
Love it.
In designing, there's a lot of method. There's a lot of instrument. You can be using a mouse, right? You can be using a pad, but this one is a monitor that you can draw directly on it. So it's a lot better. It's a lot easier. When I was starting, I was using only mouse. So the mouse, it was really hard for me. If you want to draw the stroke of the hair, so you will do it manually using the mouse. So I upgraded into a pad, drawing pad, and it's a lot easier. But when I get the funds, because Cintiq is a little bit costly, so when I get the chance to, I mean, a costly one, not a little bit, sorry. And when I get a chance to buy one, I realized the advantages of having one. You can draw anything you want. You can draw from directly on it. You don't have to use mouse anymore like that. Basically, in art, it's a lot advanced than using mouse. So that's my secret weapon. So if there's any cover designer here that is looking towards for improvement, I suggest that you guys buy one. Although it's costly, but it's totally worth it.
Awesome.
That is totally cool.
So the pen is mightier than the sword.
Yes, and for the artist, the graphics tablet is even mightier than that. So
nice.
It's pretty awesome, dude.
Thank you.
Cool. That is cool.
It's very expensive. That's why I don't have any kidney anymore. I sell it.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's funny. So we got a couple of more comments. Aaron Lambert, he's a graphic designer. Josh and I actually met him at Railmakers, and he's like, yes, Syntec, they're awesome for artists. Lots of people at his work has them. They're just pressure sensitive, top of the line tablets, just like you were saying.
That's
So
right.
you are not alone in the Syntec world.
So
But,
I've told my wife, once I get to where I'm writing full time, I want to do my own cover art, and I need to get a nice, graphics tablet that you can draw right on the screen and everything. And then when she saw the price, she just rolled her eyes and said, "Yeah, dream on." So,
well, can you draw though?
No, but I
But
think it can be taught.
Oh man, that is awesome.
You saying stick people covers don't sell?
Yeah, some of them did. Was that the Diary of the Wimpy Kid? I think that sold like.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, those were terrible, but they sold.
They can.
Well, I started drawing stick people though.
Yeah.
Till now, I think.
Right. So I think that is the fastest we have ever gotten through that segment. It's crazy. But
it's
anyway,
cool. I like it because it's totally new. It's totally different. So yeah.
Exactly. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the topic of the week, and that is all things design. So Christian, we're going to make you talk a lot. You ready?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm ready.
You're stuck. You can't go anywhere now.
So we were talking before the podcast, and Tiger asked a really good question, and there was an awesome answer. So what? Go ahead and do that, Tiger.
Oh, okay. So, well, I guess we'll start out with Christian. You said you got started a few years back. How did your journey as a cover designer and graphic designer, graphic artist, how did that journey start? Where did it start at? And how did you get into it?
Okay. First, I want to say to the viewers that my language is not. My first language is not English, okay? So please bear with me, guys. If I don't make sense, I'm sorry in advance. So
wait. So what is your first language?
Filipino. If you
Filipino?
know Tagalog, that's the language of our country.
Okay.
Awesome. So then how do you say the knight killed the dragon with a sword in Filipino?
Pinatay niya ang dragon kagabi.
That is awesome.
I heard peanut dragon. That's what I heard. I don't know. I might have missed something in translation.
Yeah.
Awesome. So okay, sorry to interrupt you. Continue.
Okay, so here it is. A few years back, as I had mentioned before, I was a young father at young age. I think I was 16 when I had my first child, and then here it is. My family didn't agree with that because I was on young age, so I had to live with my own. I I left them, so I had to move to another city.
Okay.
So basically I'm broke. Yeah, basically I'm broke, and then my wife. Since my wife has the opportunity to work, I left. She worked for those during those years, and then me, I was a father at home, so I used to take care of my kids. So I have a lot of time to watch YouTube and movies just like that. And then one time I got the interest of one time I saw a speed painting from YouTube, or let's say Photoshop works. So it caught up my interest. I said when I watched it, oh, I want to do that. I want to do some kind of fantasy works, like. But first, I love to work with apocalyptic scenes, just like that.
Okay.
And then it took me a lot of time. I practiced and practiced. And then one time I saw the 99 designs. I had mentioned earlier, it is a freelance work. Like you will compete with others all around the world, other cover designers.
Mm-hmm.
When I started to submit my first design, it got reported. It got reported from copyright use because I didn't have any ideas about about it. And then throughout the year, throughout the months, I've learned a lot of stuff. But still a lot of things to do, like uh, things a lot of to learn. And then after a year from competing, I didn't win anything, so that was very awful for me. Still broke. And
Yes.
then one time I got the opportunity to to compete again, because there's a contest from 1996 that says apocalyptic scene. So it caught up my interest again. So
Okay.
I tried it again. When I submitted the work, uh, suddenly it won. So I didn't expect it. The author was Shana Festa. A shout out to the person who who led me into in the community. Actually, she was the one who helped me uh, to. She joined me into the community. Into the community, she introduced me to the indie world, in indie books. I met a lot of authors because of her. Actually, when I won her contest, she liked my work, so she helped me too. She built the website for me.
Oh wow.
She was very kind to me,
Oh,
and then
that's awesome, dude.
my career started there because of her. Can I shout out for her?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Her name is Shana Festa. I don't know if she's still active in or community, or if she is still writing, but I want to shout out for her. I want to say thank you. Her name is Shana Festa, and she wrote Time of Death. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, we're all about shout outs around here. Absolutely. Especially people that take care of each other. I mean, we're all about that. So that's totally cool.
Did I
So
make any sense?
yeah, absolutely. So you went from
You're
on
getting a lot
nine.
of compliments on the guild or the on the chat box too. Aaron said Christian is doing great. I've been to the Philippines. It's a beautiful place. Stacy Black said most of our first language is random mixed gaming slang. So you speak very well, Christian.
Thank you.
A lot
I
of
feel
people are.
so relieved right now.
Yeah, you're doing great, man.
Because in here, in our country, there's a lot of discrimination if you don't speak well English. So,
Uh,
so there's a bit of feeling of me that it's
yeah,
hard.
we don't discriminate. We love everybody.
You're doing great, dude.
Thank you, guys.
So
Thank you.
just to kind of recap. So you said when you first started looking at 99 designs, your first contest entry that you put in got flagged as a copyright violation, something I have heard a little bit about myself.
Yeah.
And then you went a year without winning a contest, and here you are now with a portfolio of dozens and dozens of fantastic covers you've done for probably dozens of different authors.
I still couldn't believe it.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's totally awesome.
they're pretty awesome, man. I mean, they're just awesome.
You really
Thank you,
are.
guys. And actually, I didn't expect it. I mean, my portfolio right now, uh, because 3 years back, when I look back, uh, I had nothing. Still competing, and then uh, uh, I mean, actually, in the religious side, I really, I always pray a lot. I
Okay.
ask for guidance and through our Lord, and I believe He led me through this, not my ability, but His.
I understand, man.
Sorry, I'm kind of a bit a religious person too, so.
Well, we are a little bit too, so that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So what is your faith, if you want to share that? What is it? You don't have to go into a lot of it, but if you're comfortable with that, what is it?
I'm very comfortable with that. I thought that some readers might not, so
Nah, don't worry about it.
I'm a Christian, literally Christian, literally Christian Bentulan. No, I'm a Christian, born again, saved by Jesus.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. We are as well. We are as
Yeah,
well.
both
Too.
both
So
Wow,
of us
thank
and
you.
Josh.
Cool, but you made a good point though. We do have a very diverse mix of readers and listeners, so we try to be very respectful of all different
Yeah.
beliefs and people who they're not into the religious thing. But yeah, we
Mhm.
don't make apologies for what we believe either. So that's really cool that you're open about that.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome, man. So what has been your favorite cover you've done so far?
Mm, I think all of it, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
hard.
like choosing your favorite kid, right?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to pick because most of my covers, there's different, learnings from it. If you do one cover, you're gonna learn something from it that you had to do this in the next cover. I mean, because of the old cover, yeah, you've learned a new technique from it. So what I meant is, I love all of it. So I can't pick any one of it. But I have some. But my first favorite cover that I had made, of course, is from Shana Festa's cover, because I saw my future on that cover.
oh,
I saw my my genre. I saw everything from it.
that's
So
awesome.
yeah, I think that's my favorite. Not being biased, I love all my books. I love all my book covers. So I don't wanna make people think that I'm biased or something. But
Oh yeah,
You
that's
do
yeah.
have
awesome.
some fantastic covers. I'm not familiar with a lot of the books here, but I've been continuously looking at your portfolio,
Mm-hmm.
and the a couple of them that I wanted to call out that I think are really awesome for a number of reasons. The You have one called Valandra. It's like a purple cover with I don't know if it's the Dragon Blade Cycle Valandra,
Ah,
and it
okay.
has like an elf holding a sword, and
Mm-hmm.
that one's just really cool. There's tons of detail on that cover itself. I'm curious. Walk us through that particular cover creation. Give us a little insight into that one.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go through that cover because I have forgotten the look. you
You've
know,
done so many of them, man.
yeah, it's hard to remember all of it. Wait, I'm gonna check it out again. Sorry, guys.
No
No,
worries,
you're
no
good.
worries.
It was a cover
Yeah.
for Tristan Vick.
Tristan Vick. Yeah, yeah. Wait. I'm gonna look it again. So I won't miss any details.
I mean, there's a lot of awesome covers here.
Yeah, I saw it now. Yeah. Valandra. Okay. This is a stock photo, actually.
Okay.
Uh, what I can see here, if I can remember, all I did was actually the model of this photo was scrapped. I think below her waist was scrapped. So all I had to do is to extend her cape. If you can see the cape, right
Yep.
from the left side, it was not there originally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then it was a very bare photo. Then I had to paint her hair, had to put some effects on the sword.
Okay.
Basically, when I am starting a cover, first I had to crop the main element like the picture or the model, and then put
Okay.
it on a canvas, white canvas, and then play with proportion, play with positioning. Because when you do a cover, you need to prioritize also the text, not the artwork, because the text is the most important because it is the title.
Hmm.
It is the readers gonna read first before the. I mean, yeah, cover is a big advantage, but also the text, because some other artists sometimes forget the text. So what I am trying to say is I put some provisions for the text first before
Okay.
doing the heavy layout, heavy editing. So what I did here is when I figured the position of the model, I did editing now, and then put a background, and then I mean, yeah, that's it. I don't know how I did it. I didn't know how I did it actually. So
That's really cool. So you said something there that's important to me, and RJ, you can jump in anytime here if you want. But
You're doing
you
great.
know, I've worked with several very talented cover artists, and a lot of them are skilled to the point where they can do freehand illustrations and they do all their own digital painting. But I've had those same artists have told me I don't deal with fonts. I'm not good with fonts, or I'm not good with titles.
Ooh.
So they're good artists, but when it comes to the font or typography, they're like, well, I don't really do that. So I've had to, on multiple books, I've had to deal with a large portion of the titling and stuff myself and do that component of the design. You're saying that you make that a priority, right?
yeah, that's true.
That's
Because
awesome.
because there's a lot of good arts. Yeah, good arts. And then when you go through the text, it doesn't match.
Yeah.
Sometimes, most of it. I have no I mean bad intention here. I don't know what's the exact term. I don't have any bad comments from it, but it's a good art. It also deserves a good text.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I mean, and I agree 100%. You've got to be able to read the title. It's got to be cool. I mean, you can't just have a quote unquote normal font, especially in sci-fi fantasy. And
Yeah.
you're throwing it on a badass art that you got behind it, and you just have Times New Roman up there. That ain't gonna
Not
work.
gonna work.
Mm,
It's
mhm.
incomplete. It's incomplete.
Yes, because sometimes if the text is very beautifully executed, sometimes cover art is not that priority anymore. Sometimes,
Yeah.
so text is a big part of the covers.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think that as an artist, if you're neglecting the font and the typography, like you're neglecting a huge area where you can make a massive impact. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of room to make a statement just through that. And I see like you have a wide variety of the way that you've handled texts and fonts throughout your covers, and I think it's nice because none of them are the same. There's a nice variety.
Thank you, thank you. It was hard. It was hard to come up with different kind of text, different kind of books. It's hard.
Do you, do you Oh, go
Mhm.
ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's why I needed to look on Balandra cover again, so I won't lose any details.
Now, do you create your own fonts because you have such a variety, or do you take fonts that are out there and do you modify them, or what's your approach?
As of now, I usually use. I don't do fonts because I can admit that I'm not good with fonts. I
Okay.
use I used to buy fonts if necessary, and then but mostly when I use font, other I modify it most of the time so it won't look like the original one.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's it. But I
Okay.
don't do fonts.
I've done some of that myself, and it's hard. It's especially if you're not a skilled graphic designer, it's hard to take a font and make the modifications and still have it come out looking clean. So yeah, I don't blame you for just having somebody else do it.
It
Yeah, I
was
haven't
really
even
hard.
tried
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, RJ.
So a couple of more comments. Stacy Black said the art should enhance the title, and I think Christian does a great job of that too.
Hmm.
Title should not overwhelm the art, though. It's a delicate balance. It's hard to do.
Mhm. That's right.
Yep.
And then another one, Kimberly Berry says hit or miss. Sometimes it's needed, but most of the time it takes away from the title art. Aaron Lambert says the right font is just as important as the artwork. Often it can be artwork, which is kind of what you're saying too.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sweet.
So I get a question for you, Christian, because we do have a lot of people that will probably listen to this podcast and they, at some point will be looking for a cover artist. So when you have an author come to you and say, "Hey, Christian, I got two questions here." They say, "Hey, Christian, I want you to help me out with my cover for my next book. I really like your work. I want to work with you. First question is, do you do just ebooks? Do you do print? Do you do audiobooks? What type of covers do you offer?
I do those. I do those like ebook, paperback, and audio. I even do hardbacks too.
Oh,
Uh,
Oh,
okay.
nice.
I have experienced a lot of it throughout the years. So yeah, I can do those.
Okay. That is
Mhm.
awesome. Go ahead. Did you have a question, RJ?
No, I just said that's really cool that you
Oh,
can
okay.
do that you can do it all.
Yeah.
And what was your
So
second question?
the second part of that is, so if one of us comes to you and says, hey, I want you to do the cover for my next book or my next two books or whatever, what does that interaction look like with you and the author? What can an author expect when you agree to work with them? What does that design process look like?
Okay, my process is very simple. As you know, my English is not my first language, so I try to keep it simple because too many details for me, it confused me.
Okay.
Because I hate reading. I love to do covers, book covers, but I hate reading. So ironic. So my point was, when someone approached me, hey Christian, blah blah blah, I want to work with you, or what is your timeline, or something like that. First, I'm gonna ask them. Uh, if they can give me the simple details, very simple details of the cover, like what is your book all about, like fantasy or something, and then I'm gonna ask them if they have any visions of the concept or they have something that they want to see on on their books, on book cover, and then third, I'm gonna ask them if they have any favorite book covers around there that they want me to use as a direction or just a inspiration, so I know where it go, just the directions, and then the text like blurb, title, or something like that, and then when the author or the person is has sent that already, I'm gonna give them the timeline, like I'm gonna say them that this is my availability, and then my turnaround is actually 1 to 3 days only, but
Holy
Wow.
crap!
I
Holy
usually
moly.
I usually finish a book a day. Well, 3 days is the maximum, just in case I have experienced sickness,
Or your
some
kids get sick, or
Yeah.
events, family events. But usually I finish a cover within a day.
holy cow, man!
And if it's easy, I can finish a series within a day. Yeah.
Wow.
That
That's incredibly fast. I'm not used to hearing anything close to that. So
yeah, me neither. Mine take
that's
It but
longer.
that's uh, that's why I'm falling out. My hair. My hair is, I don't have any more hair.
oh, that's awesome.
Oh, not that your hair
So
is falling out, but that you can turn them around that fast, right? Right.
yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly.
That Valender cover, I did it on just a day.
Wow, that is fantastic. So we need to get more work for you. We need to send more work your way because clearly you need more work to keep busy.
I'm very open to it. Thank you, guys.
So I
So
got a couple more questions. RJ, do you have one? Because I don't
yeah,
want to.
so and forgive me if you do more photo manipulation. That's right. Is that kind of how you are? Or do you hand draw a lot? I can't remember exactly.
Hmm. Uh, when I was starting, I used to do photo manipulation because I can't draw. I can draw. Honestly, I admit it. I can't draw. I used to edit photos. So throughout the years, I saw the advantages of doing hand draw, doing manual art. So
Yeah.
Okay.
I have decided a few months ago that I need to learn this thing. So that's driven me to buy Cintiq. that's
Uh,
that's the biggest factor that drove me to buy that that buy expensive Cintiq. And
Yeah.
so as of now, I'm currently learning. I can't offer that service as of the moment, but hopefully throughout the next year, yeah, I can offer that. But for now,
That's awesome.
being honest with you guys, I don't draw very well. But
Okay.
there's a good progress as of now because beside of drawing, I'm learning 3D.
Ooh.
So
Oh.
I think it's a big option, other option, because in 3D you can play with poses, you can play with if you rendered a model, I can paint on top of it. So it's a
Mm.
big advantage. Unlike if you draw manually, you have to draw the anatomy, right? When you render the model, you can just paint on top of it. So that's uh, that's my thing for today. For as of the moment, I paint most of the details on top of the 3D ones or the pictures.
Oh, that is super cool.
It
So,
is extremely cool.
so what's the hardest part about 3D? Is it actually thinking in three dimensions when you're posing and looking at things, or is it just something new? So that's the hardest part right now.
Um, 3Ds actually there at first it's very complicated. It's very complicated because because most of the years I use Photoshop and then turned into a different platform. So it was really hard for me. Still learning. I am still learning. So the biggest the hardest area on the 3D one is the I mean, playing with poses, playing with, because in on this platform you can do anything. You can do the perspective, you can play with it, but the very intriguing one is playing with poses. It's I think that's the only one.
Because you
Okay.
can make somebody's elbow bend the wrong way or something on accident.
Yeah, yeah. It made me. I was doing like a action pose, and then I accidentally made like he was alien like here. It was really hard, but now I can catch up. I
There you
learned
go.
a lot throughout the months.
So, with your graphic design skills, have you thought about or do you offer like book trailers or different promotional materials for authors? Is that something that you do or have thought about doing?
I don't do book trailers, but I can do a lot of advertisement for them, like bookmark or something that will can be used to their website, like banner,
Okay.
3D mock-up, like is a scene which a book like it can be mock-up. I
Yeah.
mean, what can you
A
say?
mock-up.
Yeah, yeah, a book that looks like it's really there on
Hmm.
a library or something like on the inside the bookstore, like
Hmm.
best-selling mock-up like that. Yeah,
Oh, very good. Very good.
but book trailers, I don't do that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, video is a whole different ballgame. So I gotta
Yeah.
make fun of myself here. I was reading our outline, and one of the questions I had written down is, "What was your favorite cover?" Which we already asked, but I read it as "What was your favorite color?" So Christian, what is your favorite color?
Okay, my favorite color. I mean, in general, or in the.
it, it,
To work
yeah.
with.
Okay. Well, then two parts. Yeah. What's your favorite color to
Okay,
work with, and then in general.
okay. In general, I like blue, and
Dig it.
Yes.
when applying on the book covers, because I love apocalypse, my favorite color is orange.
Ah, yeah, that's a big thing in that genre. Is you gotta have. I feel like every one of those colors have some kind of or covers has some kind of orange in it, but it really sets the tone for the series and for the book. It's crazy what colors can do.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and they're opposites on the color wheel, right? Blue and orange. So it's a good strong contrast for the
Mhm.
color. Do you get into color theory much when you're doing your cover design, or is it just kind of whatever you're feeling you go with?
Actually, it depends on the genre. It really depends on the genre
Okay.
because, for example, if you do fantasy, there is a color wheel. Mostly the color that is used is are blue, violet, purple, something like that. But in some other genre, you play with gray, very dull. It's hard. Gray, what do you call this? Yeah, orange, something like that. Because in Apocalypse, mostly gray and orange. So it depends.
Okay.
It really depends on the genre.
Oh, interesting.
Colors play big part.
Yeah, they do. Sorry, I got distracted on looking at the YouTube, but not looking at the video because I was like, "Wait, that's not what he's saying." But I'm looking at the live video on YouTube's like it got a slight
Delay.
delay, so I
Yeah.
was just freaked myself out for a second. I was like, "What?" In anyway, so
Hey, don't feel bad. I was just doing the exact same thing. So
oh, awesome! I feel less stupid.
no, we're both stupid together. So
Oh shoot.
So RJ had asked a interesting question about favorite covers earlier. Christian, my question for you is: outside of your own work, are there any particular other covers by other artists that you're really a big fan of, or you know, guilty pleasures of authors that you stalk or artists that you stalk? Like, who are some of your favorites that maybe inspire you or challenge you?
Mhm. There's a lot of artists out there, but I do have a very specific person that I want to, I want that kind of skill. His name is Noah Bradley. He is doing, yeah, a very manual drawings, paintings.
Okay.
And when I saw his artwork when I was starting, I want to do this. I want that kind of skill. And I know it won't it won't make me that that kind of level, but it his designs um, inspire me a lot. It's although it's not a covers, mostly it is a concept artwork, and then
Okay.
actually he works for a game cards. I don't know
Oh,
what is
Like
what it
Magic
is
or
called.
something?
Like Magic Gathering, yeah.
Okay.
He works for for that company.
So I'm
Uh,
looking at his website, and he's got fantastic art, but he does have a lot of naked ladies. So that's pretty prominent in his work.
fair warning.
Just fair warning, NSF.
Oh, that's funny.
Wait, what is it?
That's
NSW?
We got a good question from the audience, J.E. Perazzi, and if I'm saying that wrong, J.E., tell me wrong, or tell me, and I'll try it again and probably get it wrong again. But so Christian, what she asked, what are some of the things that you'd suggest authors avoid doing or asking for in their covers? Kind of like top cover mistakes or things as a cover artist you don't like to get asked to do or don't like to see.
okay. I think, very specific also suggestion, because some authors, uh, some, not all, okay, some authors are asking to copy the same style that the artist is doing. That's the biggest mistake that others do, because you can never copy the style of different artists.
Okay.
I hope I make sense. I made sense.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
exactly right.
So if you are looking forward, I mean, if you are asking for a cover, uh, you should look for a cover artist that really fits what you're looking for. So if you're looking for a cover, you need to you need to be decided if you're going to do this or not, because you can't really copy anyone's style. Yeah.
Yeah, because you
Okay.
got your. I mean, you can kind of change around what you do and the elements you use, but it's still your style of art. It's not
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to. I mean, maybe you could, but in general, people aren't going to like do an anime cover and then go to a cover like yours where it's epic fantasy or post-apocalyptic. And most people aren't going to switch like that. They kind of got their style that if your
Mhm.
book fits in there, that's kind of where you should target it, right? That's kind of what you're saying, right?
Mm, yes, I think you are right with that. But my other point is like this. I have a friend. Her name is Becky Frank. she is a cover designer too. What I this is just this is just an example. She does fantasy, and then I do fantasy. We have different style. She has like more on cartoonish one, but I do have a realistic kind of style. Some of others, or I have experienced that. I'm not talking about her. It was just an example. Just like I want that kind of feel. I want that kind of style. So please, can you copy it? So for me,
Yeah.
you are hiring me for my style, not for her style. So what I meant is, I can, yeah, I basically I can copy hers, but not to the point that 100%, because it's her style, not mine. So so my point here about the question is, if you are looking for an artist, you should be decided on the style that you are looking for. If this designer designer style fits yours, and then go for it. That's
Yeah, that's a great point too. I mean, because that as a person who can't draw stick figures or anything in particular, I can draw circles and squares, and they still don't look right. But they, you know, until I really got into this and got more into writing and knowing what people can and can't do with cover art, I just kind of assumed that you could kind of draw whatever, whenever, however you wanted to do it. But then I'm glad I didn't make that mistake on saying, "Hey, can you draw this?" And then they're like, "No, that's not my style at all." So I kind of lucked into not making that mistake. Tiger, I think you were going to say something too.
Well, I pulled up Rebecca Frank's webpage in her portfolio. So it's Rebecca Frank.
Ball today, dude.
Well, I love art. I'm a huge geek about this stuff. So looking at her covers now, they're fantastic, but they have a very different style of design. So like one thing that I can see clearly in like 100% of her pictures or her covers is the way that she applies lighting to the detail elements, like the drop shadow lighting around the main characters in the cover design, and the way that she handles fonts. It's a very different approach to the lighting and the color element to the design versus what Christian has. So if they're looking for those elements, that's not necessarily what he does, right? So they're different. So, and it looks like she does several different genres, but at the same time, it's just her approach to it is different.
Yeah.
So
that was my point. I love her work actually. Shout out to her. Hi, Betty.
It's great work. A lot of books by Rebecca Hamilton here. Some other famous authors that are in different like urban fantasy genres and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of good work out there.
Awesome. All right, I think I cannot believe this. We are like on our timeline for once.
First time.
So we're gonna that's gonna wrap up the main topic. So Christian, our next section, what we do is we all talk about what we're reading and listening to, either music or audiobooks or what you're reading. So what I just finished Wild at Heart by John Eldridge, and I think that book's probably gonna change my life. It's really as a man, it's a really good book, and it's opened a lot of questions that I hadn't even realized I'd had about myself. So I highly recommend it as a guy. I think he also, his wife wrote one for the girls as well, and I can't remember what it's called. But here we go. Sorry. Somebody saying bye. So I gotta say bye in the chat.
Bye.
Then I also just finished the Arrivers series of short stories by John K. Patterson, who Josh and I met at Realm Makers. They're freaking pretty good. I don't even know how to explain it. He makes you care in such a short amount of time, and each of the installments it's just insane. So really well done. And they're real quick reads too. So I read all 5 of them on the plane today.
Oh wow!
4 of them. And then listen to music-wise, I've been listening to a lot of Robert O'Keefe again lately. Love that guy. He's one of my all-time favorites. He's a Texas country artist. So, all right, Christian, you go first. We'll let Tiger finish it up.
Yep.
Okay. As of the moment, I have listening to. Actually, I enrolled into a art school online. It is called
Awesome.
Schoolism. Yeah, I think I pronounced it right. Schoolism, and then I'm currently listening to those online videos for it. If you knew Craig Mullins, he is the god. I think Godfather. They call him Godfather of painting. Yeah,
Nice.
you're the father of painting. He is the one who is doing the live. I mean live recorded videos, and then he is teaching us through videos.
Oh
So
wow.
he is the one I'm listening to right now, and also watching his work because he is doing progress, like he is drawing there. He is, yeah. I'm currently listening to the Godfather of painting, Craig
Nice.
Mullins.
I thought the Godfather of painting was Bob Ross, but maybe that's different. Different type of painting. Just a happy little tree.
Did you know he was a drill sergeant in
I
the
know.
Army or the Marines, one of the two? I can't
Yeah.
remember one
Yeah.
of them, but that's just insane.
He just didn't want to yell no more. Dude, I love that guy. Is it my turn now?
Yeah, it's your turn now.
Okay, cool. So some of you probably are aware, but I've been diving my way through. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but it's the Dark Elf Trilogy. It's the first 3 books in the Drizzt Jordan series, and I don't know if you guys have read the Dark Elf Trilogy or not. It's R.A. Salvatore. It's been on my to be read list for like 10 years or something. And when I went on vacation with my wife last month, I decided to buy the 3 books in one and take it with me. And I've already read the first 2. I'm into not quite halfway through the 3rd book. The book gets criticized a lot by people like ourselves who are writers for lack of depth and very cliched characters. But it's just a fun read either way. So people call this like popcorn fantasy or lightweight fantasy or even high fantasy. And when they say that, they're saying it in a derogatory term. But this book series or this author, I should say, R.A. Salvatore, has sold. He's written. I think I read the other day. He's written many, many, many books, but he's written, I think, 25 books that this character from this book has appeared in. I think all 25 of those books have been a New York Times bestseller.
Oh,
Everyone
wow.
have showed up on that list. So
Wow.
moral of the story is maybe there's things as a writer that he doesn't do as well as some snobby readers may think. And I would agree with some of those points. But the bottom line is he writes a character that a lot of people really enjoy. And he's made a fantastic career writing stories about that one character. So I've really enjoyed it. There's some things in here that I don't think he does well, but bottom line is it's a lot of fun. So if you guys haven't read the Dark Elf Trilogy before, I recommend it. It's been around forever, so you can buy like the whole series here for like less than $20 at the bookstore. That's a lot of fun. And as far as listening lately, kind of a really weird mix. I've been listening to a lot of For King and Country, a lot of their newer songs that are coming out, and then a lot of retro 80s rock music and 80s pop. So not really sure what's up with that weird mix, but
Are you going to rock the Casbah?
Yeah. Hey, why not? It's been a little bit of everything on the 80s playlist. So, yeah. So
sorry. Distracted again. Sorry.
That's good. Squirrel.
Tangent.
So you did pretty good today.
Yeah, I'm kind of impressed with myself. I'm always impressed with myself. Let's be honest. I'm just kidding. Pretty much making this crap up as we go. So that's kind of what we're reading and listening to. The next segment we always go into is what we're thankful for. It's a place for us to bring our faith into the podcast and the YouTube video. So, Christian, we'll let you start off with what are you thankful for? It can be in general, this week, this month, whatever.
Again, sorry, I didn't understand it.
So just like, what are you thankful for? Just in general, it can be anything.
Okay, okay. Firstly, I thank God for everything. He showed me my path. He showed me my career. He's the one. So, sorry. Okay, I'm very thankful to you guys too for letting me be your guest. Although I'm not a good speaker, I
You did
hope
great, dude.
I hope I made sense. And I'm very thankful to all the authors who trusted me. I want to thank you guys. Uh, I mean, I couldn't do this alone. If it's your trust in me, if you haven't trusted me, I couldn't do these covers. So I'm very thankful. Your trust driven me into something like I am now. You inspired me. Thank you to the authors, to the clients who supported me, to the authors that who never left me, even though uh, due to my delays. I want to thank you, all of you. So thank you, guys.
That's awesome, dude.
Awesome. You go ahead, Tiger.
So kind of on the flip side of that coin, I want to say thank you, or I'm thankful for the many talented artists out there. There's many different forms of arts and forms of expression, and there's many different giftings and talents and abilities, and I'm thankful for those. I'm thankful for the different artists that are out there. I've worked with 3 or 4 different artists on my books, and without their skill, without their ability, in today's marketplace, you don't sell books. You don't get recognized, you don't get attention. So I realized that, it's because of, the Stefan Selleck's of the world and Caleb Havertapes of the world and Christian, and I'm not even going to try to butcher your last name, but it's because of talented artists like you guys. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing because you make what we do possible.
That's a good one too. So I'm going to do a little shameless plug for my thankful one, and I'm going to say thankful for Kickstarter and all the crowdfunding opportunities, not just for me, but for because let's be honest, mine's my Kickstarter, which is live now. You should go invest in it.
Yes.
Back it.
I did.
Yeah, but anyway, mine was going to get published no matter what. But it allows me to get it out faster and in a better format. But there's a lot of people who could not get their project off the ground if it wasn't for things like Kickstarter and Indiegogo and all the crowdfunding sites. So there's been a lot of people who have made their dreams come true because people backed them and they believed in them. And as an author and as a man too, just somebody believing in you impacts you more than you think it would.
Yes.
And
Preach.
It really brings it home to me that people all across the world think things are cool and they want to be a part of the project and invest their hard-earned cash in somebody's project. So I'm thankful for both the platform and the people on it. So that's what I'm thankful for. And
Well said, dude.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
I would just like to piggyback on that. So RJ, as he mentioned, he has a Kickstarter out there for Death Cloud, the next book in the Centurions of Tyranum series. Hopefully I got the name correct there.
Terra Unum.
Terra Unum. Okay.
Yeah.
So that one right there. So I might not be able to pronounce it, but I have read through the books. I read through the beta version of Death Cloud. It was absolutely a blast, a lot of fun. For those who haven't got into RJ's books yet, you have superheroes, fantasy, and like gladiators all rolled into one. It's a lot of fun. He says often, it's kind of like Avatar: The Last Airbender mixed with like, I don't know, Lord of the Rings or some type of epic fantasy like that. It's a lot of fun. I think you guys are really going to enjoy Death Cloud. As well as the other books in his series. So if you guys like that, really consider checking out his Kickstarter, help get that fully funded. Think of it like pre-ordering your book. A lot of people like to pre-order books. If you go and you put a pledge out there, it's the same as pre-ordering it. It's just helping fund that goal. So if you like epic fantasy, and if you haven't checked out his work, go ahead and consider pledging and helping make that goal get fully funded. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that fully funded, and I'm ready to see a paperback copy of that puppy. So
awesome, man. Thanks. That was I didn't ask him to do that actually, so thank you.
Oh, no problem, bud.
So I think we are on time and done. So Christian, thank you for joining us. Where can all our guests find you online? I've already put the posts or the links in the show notes, but go ahead and where's the best place to find you, get a hold of you, all that stuff.
I want to say thank you guys again. So you can find me through my website, www.coversbychristian.com. And then you can check out my page. I usually post my latest work through my page, which is you can just search Covers by Christian, and you will see there. Most of my latest posts is on there. So you can basically email me or chat my page, and then I'll respond as soon as I can.
And I actually look forward to seeing those up in my news feed. I don't look forward to seeing too much on Facebook, but I like seeing those when you post the cover. So keep doing that. I dig it. I follow your page, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey guys, awesome. I have a question.
Yeah.
Where do you find me?
Why we pick you? Because you're a badass, man.
Thank you. I mean, how did you get? Where did you find me? Did someone recommend you or something?
I'm gonna say Josh found you originally, and he told me, "Hey, check out this guy's covers. We should get him on the podcast." And I said, "Well, ask him." So it was that easy.
Thank you. Hey, Josh, thank you. And then I'm sorry too, because this interview was about last week, right?
yeah. So it was supposed to be last week, but we had some scheduling conflict. But we operate by the pirate code here. There's nothing set in stone. It kind of just goes whatever happens. No worries.
Right. And thank you guys for understanding.
You're very welcome.
So I want to say thank you guys for letting me here. So it's a big honor and privilege for me. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun, bud.
Yeah, same for us, man. It was an honor and a privilege.
Absolutely.
So with that, we'll go ahead and keep going. Tune in next time. What did we say, Tigers? September 18th?
Oh, get me lying. Yes, September 18th, 8 p.m. Eastern time.
And we're still going to have a mystery guest at this point. We got to confirm with him. It's a him that we have in mind, but we'll post it beforehand this time. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe and like the video. If you're listening on a podcast, subscribe and leave a rating either on iTunes or Stitcher or what's the other thing we're on? Spotify. We're on Spotify now.
Yep.
So, and we're on Podbean is the website where you do all the shenanigans through that it goes through. But anyway, this is RJ signing off.
All right, Tiger signing off. Peace out.
Me signing off. I was just copying you guys.
There you go.
I think I got the line.
There you go.